Are you headed to a funeral because your boys lost, or what's going on?
It's sad time in Alabama right now, man. I know that. It's sad.
Hey,
man.
so let's break this game down, man. Let's dive into this real quick because we both, had Michigan or Alabama going to be a tough out for Michigan, which it was. They were winning the game. They had the game won, in my opinion, until late. So where are we at with the call? Because I broke the call down, T-Rich. I broke the play down, T-Rich. I showed that we're so quick to call coaches out and say it was a bad call, but when you watch the play, it was QB power. It was a walk-in touchdown if he follows the guard that wrapped, number 77, and that was by design. So what they did was they motioned the back out to get the backers to move like an RPO, which they killed them on motion all game. If you notice the game, they killed Michigan with motion. They did not adjust well to motion. They ran QB power, a play I used to love running with that same motion. And if you watch it, the front was blocked to perfection. I don't want to hear about the right tackle missing and the low snap and the D end up the field. By the way, QB power, we want the D end up the field. If you watch the play, all you do is follow the hip of the guard, number 77, takes you to pay dirt. Milroe walks in. You heard it here. Walks in the end zone. I don't know, Bailey. Can you pull up the clip?
Yeah, please pull it up when you get a chance because he had an opportunity.
The low snap panicked Milroe. He just took the ball and tried to go straight into a wall of crap.
Yeah.
All he had to do was take a pause step with his back foot. Like if you were coached up to do QB power, the QB should have took the ball, got the ball if it was low, seated the ball, relax. You got time. It ain't that bad. Take a jab step with his back foot, and he would have followed the guard right into the end zone. I promise you. But here we go, Big Smitty.
Yeah, let's see.
You know what? It's so easy to say it, man, on the phone.
Thank you.
And, just watch and not being in that game. Like, I've been there before. Like, so what happened, if you look at the play, that linebacker came down. So it scared him out of that. Look at that linebacker.
That backer right there is the rapper. So that's the guard's guy right there. If you watch it, he gets sealed down. Look at that. That's where you go. You follow 77's outside hip. He walks into the inside of the H on the Michigan. He walks right to the H of the Michigan. That defensive end will never in a million years be able to tackle Jalen Milroe, T-Rich. And you know it and I know it. The D-end was already up the field. He's a wide 9 technique. Look at how wide he is. He's not going to ever come close to making that tackle. That's an arm tackle grab at best. And if he follows the guard, look at that. You're telling me that defensive end is going to scrape down there and make a fucking play on a guy going vertical? No way in the world. Look at that. He's already through there, Big Smitty. He's already through where we need to go. So if you follow 77, here's what I'm telling you, Big Smitty. All he had to do was get the snap and take a hesitation step, and it would have timed it up to follow that guard. Worst case, Big Smitty, he's diving in. He's going to score. Just tell you right now. This is a touchdown. They blocked the front up to perfection. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I'm not arguing saying he wouldn't have a chance to score. I just don't think it's as like 100% just obvious guaranteed is what you're saying.
There it is, Big Smitty. You tell me Zero's going to tackle that man. You crazy.
See, but
look at the guard. Look at the guard. Look at the guard.
See, listen, and that's why, like, you get in that position, man. Like,
see that? Look at that face.
They don't do that. They should have did that out of Wildcat with a real back, man. Like, we still got to realize, too, like, bro, he's a running quarterback, but he's not a running back. So that scared him out that hole. You get what I'm saying? And I see it. I see what the kids seen. Because, like I tell people all the time, bro, unless you're in that position, it's hard to say what you would have done because that linebacker came down, then that DM right there, somebody scared him out that hole, or he just had in his head to where I gotta get this.
Well, and the snap was bad, which just threw off everything. And the center played bad all night. Bad snaps all night long.
Man, I don't even want. Now he in a damn transfer portal. I don't even want to get into that. Like, come on, bro.
All right, so you got 9 transfer portal kids that entered the portal after the loss. Where are you at with that?
And I think kids are emotional, bro. Like, I think they make emotional decisions. And you got starters up here in the transfer portal at Alabama.
Yeah,
like, come on, man. Like what's going on, bro? Like, who is in these kids' ears? Like, who? Like, y'all just had a good season, better than what y'all should have had, for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it wasn't for Jalen in a lot of those games, y'all probably be 5-5 right now. And to do stuff like that, man. And I get it. Some people don't get along with their coach, but I think these are emotional decisions, bro. And I think it's not fair to Coach Saban, and I don't think it's fair to those guys that's down a ride, no matter what. That these kids can go in the transfer portal now, then come back for spring practice, and go right back into the transfer portal.
Yeah,
like these kids are making emotional decisions, man. I just don't agree with that transfer portal stuff, man. Like, it's tough, bro. It's tough, man. And I wish these kids had somebody around them like JB, Big Smitty, me, be like, bro, y'all really in a perfect situation, bro. Like, y'all got a chance to come back next year and do some stuff and make sure that your class get a ring. Like, if this class don't win it next year, this is going to be the only class underneath Nick Saban that hasn't got a ring.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. Let me ask you this to you, Rich, because obviously, you a Bama alum, a Bama great. Like you said, Alabama has the greatest coach in college. We could say the greatest of all time in college football history. It's up for debate, but one of the greatest of all time. You having the top tier program. They got money for NIL. What do you think is the main, are players leaving because they lost? Are they leaving because is it, you think Saban could potentially be pushing some of these guys out because he has other guys he wants to get in? Is that a realistic possibility? Or is it just like, what have you done for me lately? Meaning that we lost, I'm pissed, so I'm gonna just leave.
I think there's a point to where people can't, they're making emotional decisions. They can't handle the pressure. Playing at Bama is like playing for the Lakers right now. Like, everybody's talking about, what my guy name is, Westbrook, when he was, Westbrook, when he was there.
Yeah.
He did the same exact thing in OKC. It was just on a bigger scale than what he was doing on, so people got to see it every night. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Come to a place like LA, it's gonna be big. But I don't think everybody can take that pressure, man. All that's not meant. It's not meant for everybody to be about, bro. A lot of people can't handle it, and I get it. But what I think too, man, I think Coach got to get some players in there that played for him to be on that coaching staff. Like, the real coach that's gonna be Bama in, Bama out. That's not gonna leave after 1 or 2 years. That's trying to make a living off his name. That it means something to him. Like them kids are not getting a certain. I'm not talking about the coaches, but I get it. You're trying to get to the next best thing. You're trying to get your rocks off. This is that. I get it. But when you're talking about a program that we built, it's no way in hell he shouldn't have Nico Johnson as a linebacker coach, or he shouldn't have me in there trying to help those kids out, or Drake Kirkpatrick coaching the DBs, or Javier Arenas, or Rolando McClain in that build. Like, I'm not saying that these guys are not in the building that we're not coming back. But, bro, you look at a lot of these different programs, they got all their former players on the sideline coaching. And they're winning. Like, I was just with Denard Robinson before the game. And we was going back and forth about, the score. Because I told him I thought it was going to be 42-10. Because I believe in my boys, you know what I'm saying? I believe in them. But he was like, man, I'm telling we got something for you. I said, all right, we'll see. Tell them boys, hey, man, go out there and have a good game. I want to see this thing go to the to the nitty-gritty. And so, man, they showed up, bro. I tell you what, man, we probably played one of our worst games, bro. And I feel like we got out-coached by a lot of different stuff, bro. Like, just down to the penalties, down to busted coverages, down to fumbling the ball, down to getting sacked. This kid running for his life every play. The kid looked like Patrick Mahomes out there on some of the stuff that he had to do to get out the pocket.
Yeah, it was interesting, man. It's a tough way to go out for that Bama team, and that I don't know if people thought they would be this this deep anyway. After the loss to Texas start the season, you got a Milroe at quarterback. You swap quarterbacks, game 2 or 3. You're swapping back and forth with QBs. You know the old thing. You got 2 quarterbacks. You ain't got one. And then they said, all right. Saban said, let me show everybody what I do. And then he went and they go 11 in a row. Milroe's the guy. He's already said he's coming back. To that point, T. Rich, is Jalen Milroe the guy to take Alabama back to winning a natty? Because I think you got to have – we're all used to the guy like Bryce Young and all the quarterbacks that have come before that have been a guy. Jalen Hurts even when he was a pocket guy. Tua.
Mac Jones.
They could throw the ball on time from the pocket. Now Saban's had to go to a new world because of the transfer portal and the NIL. Now he's going to have to maybe think about, okay, are we going to have to start running a little bit of triple option, double option, RPO like Sark did more of? Are we going to have to do that now because it's going to be harder and harder to get that quarterback now? I don't know. What are you thinking about Milroe? Is he the guy? Are you happy with him going into the next season, or are you looking to see another quarterback, or is he going to hit the portal and try to go grab somebody? All the quarterbacks are taken. So it's a very interesting spot, T. Rich, because I think the 4 teams that go to the playoff, now it'll be 12, are really getting left out in this whole free agency market world we live in. They can't go get a guy no more because those guys are already shopping around and getting back into new teams while these 4 teams are playing. So you can't even get a transfer portal quarterback that's really legit. Like, the K-State guy entered the portal and you had, old boy left Texas, Malik Murphy left. And that you can't get that guy because you're playing. You're not worried about that. So where do they go at quarterback at Alabama next year?
I'm riding with Jalen, bro. And I tell you why, man, because like I said, you take Jalen out that team this year, I don't think Alabama go 5-5. I think you give him a whole nother year. You give him a year underneath his belt. I think for what that kid had and think about this. Other than Jermaine, what receivers are we saying that, that's that guy that he got?
Nobody.
Well, what running backs? We ain't see the running game until Saturday, Monday. Was it Monday or Tuesday they played the game?
Monday, yeah.
That's
Monday.
the first time we actually seen them running the ball like that with the backs. Like, they're not using the backs enough. It's just a lot of stuff for me, man. It's like, you got these big old linemen. You got these strong linemen. Like, bro, use them to their advantage. Like, we're not running downhill, man. We're not putting those kids, to me, we're not putting those kids in the best situation, man, to win those games. You got these big linebackers, these big linemen that's in the doggone on 2-point stands every play, that's having to pass like they think they fit the pass blocker and a shotgun. A lot of them guys don't even know how to get in the 2-point stands anymore. And it hurts them when they get to the next level to the NFL. So I feel like we're giving these kids a disservice, man. Like, and if you look at it how it's set up for the playoff teams, like it's set up just like how it is with the draft. Like, the best teams don't get the best players in the draft. They get the last pick of the litter. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, they still gonna get a good quality of players, but they're not going and getting the Bryce Youngs in the first round. They're not going and getting the, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not getting that in the first round. Because
you there?
We can't hear you, T. Rich. You might have to jump off and jump back in. T. Rich, we can't hear you, my guy.
T. Rich, you're muted. You probably got to call back in. Call back in. You muted.
Call back in. He's still going. T-Rich.
We can't hear you.
Trent.
We can't hear you. You might have to call back in because their phone probably, when they called.
There you go. Yeah. That's a weird glitch. That's something with StreamYard that because there's been times where, like, my cord will come out of my mic, and if, like, on accident, and then now it's like, there's nothing I can do to just get the sound back on.
That ain't StreamYard, though. That's like a phone thing because it happens on Zoom and everything. I've had it happen.
Got you.
I think it's a computer. I don't think it recognizes when you plug it back in or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, while we're waiting, I want to ask you, JB, man, one thing that I noticed during that Michigan-Bama game that kind of surprised me was Michigan looked like the more physical team, in my opinion. And I'm not saying they like bullied Bama, but just you think about the D linemen, the pressure that they were getting on Milroe, the sacks, just even in the run game. I mean, I feel like they were, playing very well at the line of scrimmage. How surprised were you that Michigan out physical Alabama? Like it sounds crazy even saying that right now because we very rarely have ever said that.
Yeah, and T-Rich can answer. T-Rich, you back?
Yes, sir, I am.
Smitty asked me, how's it, seeing a team get out physical like they did at Michigan in the run game, especially when Michigan ran the football where we usually not used to seeing that Corum touchdown. He jump cut the D lineman in the hole. This is the era we're in, Smitty. T-Rich, I think this is the new era. I don't think you can ever have the game be physical like it once was in an era that you have 30 transfers a semester, and an era that you have to reteach tackling every semester to a group of new kids. And you went from a, let's say, Les Miles coach defense to a Nick Saban coach defense. The tackling philosophy is totally different. The way we regiment practice is totally different. We may tackle 4 days a week at Alabama. We only may tackle 2 days a week at Kansas or LSU. So that is where I think the game has changed and how you're going to have to adapt. Ohio State and Ryan Day is taking major heat today. If you haven't seen Zach Smith, a few other people posted it, and they're very pissed off because apparently Ryan Day did not practice 2 of the allotted days. And in the other days leading up to the bowl game, they didn't practice in pads or tackle. So the fan base now is all pissed off. Well, this is what you guys wanted. This is the soft-ass era we're in. Ryan Days is just assimilating and doing what the hell the soft culture has told us to do. Don't hit in practice. Don't have 2-a-days. Don't tackle too hard. Put a helmet condom on your helmet. All this shit is what we're seeing. That's what we are. Why are you mad at Ryan Day now? Like, I'm trying to figure it out. So, I don't know, man. It is what it is. Ohio State, I mean, I didn't think they were going to play a great game. I think their quarterback play has been atrocious all year long, and their backup and third-string quarterback is even worse. It shows the true difference between a Urban Meyer-led team that's recruited by Urban and a Ryan Day-led team that's recruited by Ryan Day. Because Urban was there. You had 3 NFL quarterbacks on a roster all times. You ain't got one right now at Ohio State, especially with a backup going in there after the starter transferred, who was already mid, and now you put a backup at Ohio State in there. You wonder why Michigan's controlling the North right now, to be honest.
No, that's real. That's real.
Man, they got to catch up with. Yeah, they're going to have to catch up with the time, man. My bad, Big Smith. They're going to have to catch up with the time. And if they can't do that, man, Ryan, they're going to keep taking heat. And until they get them up out of there, they run them up out of there, they're going to probably pull the Auburn job, and they're going to have to pay them if they run them up out of there, no matter what. But, man, his team's going to have to, just catch up to the times, man, and recruiting and stuff, man. And I seen the expression on Ryan Day's face when was a receiver that committed there, and he thought that he wasn't gonna come. You see him at the pool, you see him at the pit, just like you see him now, man, with recruiting in the NIL, with the transfer portal and stuff. Like, they're gonna have to do something about the transfer portal, man, because sooner or later, it ain't gonna be no high school kids in there, like, and it's gonna run out. Like, you're gonna have to go get some type of high school kids, but like you said,
I think we lose it.
The hitters right now. College football is a pre-NFL now, as far as how they get paid and stuff, man.
Yeah. No, it is. It's free agency. Real quick before you get out of here, T-Rich, before Matt jumps on, I know you're driving. Let me ask you something. Florida State fans, we got them. They're pissed off.
You read my mind, JB.
Huh?
I said you read my mind, JB. That was my next question. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got guys like Christian Manzi in the chat who are defending Florida State. They said Florida State would have dog walked Michigan. But first of all, T-Rich, Florida State, in my opinion, I'm with Kirk Herbstreit. We had Kirk on the show last week. there's no way that Florida State should have got in. Number one. Number two, for a team and a fan base to defend what the product was on the football field against Georgia is they got more audacity than anybody I've ever seen in my life. You got beat by 60 to a team that also had 20 guys sit out, and you're still now on IG talking about you would have beat Bama and Michigan. Like, the audacity in these kids nowadays, dog, blows my mind. Like, don't be mad at the fans and the voters. Be mad at the players who set out and got you beat by 60. The worst lopsided major New Year Bowl 6 game in the history of college football just happened. But what do I know? I've been telling you guys for years, this is going to happen. It's going to start being nonsense played out here. And we got a New Year's 6 game that was a 60-point game. It makes no sense to me. And the Florida State fan base are mad that they should have been in it. You should be mad at your players that left you hanging and not mad at everyone else that left you out. I would have looked at it as an opportunity, T-Rich. I would have said, hey, man, let's strap up our work boots and hard hats. Let's go out here and beat that ass. Let's go beat Georgia if we're so damn good and we're so slighted. Let's go beat them like UCF did a couple years ago when they went undefeated and got an AP national championship when they went out and beat an SEC team after they were undefeated and thought they got slided out of the playoff. Remember that? And then they said, okay, we softened up as a committee. We put Cincinnati in the tournament, a group of 5 team under Luke Fickell. We put that team in, and they go get shellacked by Bama in the first round. And then the committee now is like, let's pump our brakes. Now we can't put the Liberties of the world in there. We just saw what Liberty got done to them by Oregon. So we're in a bad spot, dog.